It's a win and a loss to me. The Michael Jordan segment. Okay, Michael Jordan is being paid $40 million. I know we're not about to get just micro bits of Michael Jordan talking about himself for a whole year for $40 million. He's not going to comment on the game. He's not going to talk about what's taking place on the court. Are we just going to hear things that he does away from basketball? Because if that's the case, let's create another doc. It is officially my favorite time of the year. We got basketball, we got football. Tennis is over, but we do have baseball playoffs going on. But I want to talk about the NBA tipping off last night because there were a lot of things to take away. I want to get into the winners and losers. First and foremost, just phenomenal basketball, especially that first game, the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets. Just double overtime. Didn't know which way it was going to go. Obviously, OKC ends up coming out the victor at the end. But what were some of your takeaways, some of the winners and losers last night from the NBA tip-off from your perspective, Samaria?
Yeah, I don't really feel like there were any winners, or more winners than losers, I should say. There wasn't a lot of losers because, like you just mentioned, in the OKC-Houston game, Houston looked really good. I think that we have to give it up to Ime Udoka and what he's been able to build down there, especially what he's gone through. So to get a player like KD in there already with the roster that you had, they look great. I mean, they literally went toe to toe, came down to what was like a 2-point game. It came down to that final moment between KD and SGA. So I think they were both winners in that. I think that really showed that Houston is a team to be reckoned with. That's how I feel. The Golden State and Lakers game, I mean, you didn't have LeBron. So I just felt like it was a good game, but you didn't have your star player in LeBron. That game was very, very late for us on the East Coast. I barely stayed up to watch the end of the Rockets.
There's a new tip-off time in the NBA. So I do feel bad for everybody who's not out on the West Coast because life is designed to be lived watching sports on West Coast time, which is why we get 10 a.m. kickoffs for NFL. But this late night NBA game, I think it starts at I want to say 9:30 or 10 o'clock on the East Coast, which is wild.
Yeah, it started at 10 o'clock. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. But Jimmy Butler had 31 points. Yeah, Steph had 23 points. I mean,
but let's talk about the winners and losers because in addition to it being, basketball, we actually had the NBA have its first time in 30 years video or games being shown on their latest media partner, which is NBC Peacock, which is a return to glory. I used to watch NBA on NBC all the time. That's how I first started to watch basketball when I was coming up. So from that standpoint, did you see any noticeable differences between how NBC handled the kickoff of the NBA season versus TNT, or even how ESPN normally handles their sports coverage? Because I definitely got some takeaways.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I didn't watch like any of the pregame stuff. I did catch the sit down with Michael Jordan. I know that he's now like a special contributor for NBC, which is huge. That's a really huge get. He says that he's paying it forward. But as far as like the game, I didn't really see too much of a difference in that.
All right. Well, let me go through my list of winners and losers.
Okay.
As far as the media is concerned, and then we'll return it back to the basketball. So from a media standpoint, the way that NBC introduces storylines pregame, I think has always been top notch. It was beautiful to see a return to that. So that was for sure a win. Just the way they set up and shape narrative around what the start of the NBA season is or means and what these games could mean to these individual teams, I thought was spectacular. Obviously it's opening night, so there's going to be a little bit more in the pot than normal, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they develop those storylines for every game going forward. Beyond that, I want to talk about the cast and crew. Yo, Vince Carter is not good at this. And I love Vince Carter. He played for the Nets. I used to go to games at the Meadowlands. Vince Carter is not the best talent. It was really hard to sit there and watch him. So that was a loss for me. Another L opening night. That hurts my heart because this brother's sharp. This brother fly. Okay. This is one of my favorite players of all time. Carmelo Anthony could not be out there in a gym teacher sweatsuit. I'm sorry. Everybody else got on suits and Carmelo Anthony was out there looking like Nicky Barnes pulling up to the pool house. He looked like he was hosting Rap City. That's the basement. Like
What game was that? Cause I didn't see him.
during the game. He was all throughout. It was a huge talking point. He was the only person there not in a suit, and he looked out of place. It didn't look right. And I'm not even somebody who likes to police what people wear, but what Melo had on last night just did not fit the aesthetic of the occasion. And he looked like a fish out of water. So that was an L. And I love Melo. I love 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Shout out to the whole gang over there.
I'm trying to see what Maria Taylor has on something nice. And I think that's what if we have to do winners and losers, Maria Taylor getting back to NBA, like, I just love that for her. She's on a different network. Like, people thought her leaving ESPN, going to NBC was a step down, and she's literally doing everything. Like, she's doing everything for NBC more than she did at ESPN. She's being able to cover not only NFL, there's Sunday night football games, but now she's also covering the NBA again, which is huge. So shout out to her.
Yeah, that's a win for sure. This next thing it's a win and a loss to me. The Michael Jordan segment. Okay, Michael Jordan is being paid $40 million. And we all love MJ. It's good to see the GOAT out there. Good to hear his stories about him making free throws. But fam, I know we're not about to get just micro bits of Michael Jordan talking about himself for a whole year for $40 million. He's not going to comment on the game. He's not going to talk about what's taking place on the court. Are we just going to hear things that he does away from basketball? Because if that's the case, let's create another doc. Let Michael Jordan talk about the current game of basketball, the current state of basketball, or at the very least, can we get some Michael Jordan betting tips? We know he's a known gambler. We know he knows, parlays. Can we get Michael Jordan giving us some information and insight on something that pertains to the actual sport that is about to take place, the game that's actually about to take place, as opposed to him making free throws out of Airbnb? I just couldn't understand.
You got to kind of look big picture with MJ, because obviously it's a huge get for them, for NBC to be able to sit down with him every week, or how often they're going to sit down with him. So maybe it was a situation where Michael's like, okay, I'm going to be a special contributor for your network, but in the beginning, I'm going to want to talk about what I want to talk about. And then maybe they'll be able to like open him up more, that he's talking more about the actual game and then the current players that are playing. So maybe they're trying to look big picture.
That wouldn't make sense.
Him. Okay.
It's like, make sense? It's because he's a contributor to games that are actually taking place, and there was a microdose pre-recorded interview at his house. So unless you're going to go to his house every week and record those, that from a production standpoint, it wouldn't make sense. You don't have to loosen Michael Jordan up. He's Michael Jordan. We know who he is. We know what he is. I know,
but I'm saying, I don't know what was their agreement. Was their agreement like, okay, we're gonna get you on and you can kind of talk about what you want to talk about maybe for the first segment?
Did you hear what he spoke about?
Yes, I watched it.
So you want to hear about Michael Jordan making a free throw at an Airbnb?
No, I don't, Rodney. What I'm saying is that maybe big picture is NBC is like, we will allow you to talk about what you want to talk about in the first episode or so, and then you'll talk more about what's actually going on in the game. You will actually be contributing to what's happening in real time, because he doesn't want to do any of this, to be honest. So I feel like you kind of have to butter him up. I mean, but he doesn't do it, is what I'm saying. So I would assume he doesn't do anything that he doesn't want to do.
Exactly. So he must want to do it because he did it. I'm wondering about the intention behind. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying he's
doing it his way, is what I'm saying. He's doing it because he's like, I want to talk about myself for a little bit, and maybe it'll change over.
Yeah, from a production standpoint, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't resonate. Like, to interview Michael Jordan in his house and not talk about the current state of basketball, but again, talking about an Airbnb was just like, everybody that I know had everybody around them quiet, turn that up. The GOAT is on, Mike is on. So to hear that story, on opening night of all things, it was just like, I was looking for a little bit more. And I've seen Mike give NBC a lot more than that for pre-games back in the 90s when the NBA was previously on NBC, excuse me. But regardless, I mean, it was good to see him. I just hope going forward, we're not microdosing some one interview that we drag out all season long. And there's some, I just don't want to hear those kind of anecdotes from Michael Jordan, especially in today's climate. It just didn't make sense for me. Another L. Yo, the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets need a guard, and they need a guard badly. They just need 8. They don't have any guards on their team. Reed Shepherd at some point will start to make shots, but seeing that team roll out a lineup of everybody 6'9" and above. Amen Thompson was their point guard starting last night. KD was their 2. So everybody from their 2 to the 5 was 6'11" and above, but they didn't have a single guard. Nobody that can make a single shot. Tara Eason was absolutely terrible last night. Hopefully he gets better, because if not, they got to sit his ass down. But the Houston Rockets need a point guard. It's why you saw in that last possession, they got those last couple of possessions, they get terrible shots because they have nobody to help set up the offense. You got KD trying to run point. You got Sengun trying to run point, and they're being pressed full court, and they got to turn their back and slowing the offense down and losing time off of the clock. It was a tough watch, because the Rockets have a lot of talent. This team actually is better than I thought they would be just looking at that first game. But if they don't find a point guard or any kind of guard, even a 2 guard, to make this roster make sense, then they have no chance at all at competing at the ultimate level for this NBA season. That was one of my big takeaways from that first game as well. Another win, I'm going to go the Warriors. The Warriors looked really good last night. They have a really, really complete roster. Seeing Al Horford out there just makes the team make a little bit more sense, not having to rely on unproven young guys. You know, he didn't shoot the ball that well last night, but I felt like his ability to just be a smart defender and stretch the floor is just going to give the Warriors something that's going to be a headache. Buddy Hield shot the blood out the rock last night. If he's able to continue that all season long, I'm afraid of the Warriors. If I'm a team in the Western Conference, the Warriors are kind of laying in the weeds, and I feel like their roster construction is just tough and intelligent and seasoned. And when you add that into a pot, they really can beat anybody on any given night. And I think that in a playoff series, you're going to be deathly afraid of Steph Curry. They got to stay healthy, of course. You know, that's always the thing with older guys, older teams. But if they're able to do that, man, then the Golden State Warriors may be a dark horse in the Western Conference for sure. And shout out to Skinny Luka. Skinny Luka, you know what I'm saying, was out there looking good.
43 points.
43 points. Luka was cooking. DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton is ass. Oh my gosh, that boy was really out there looking like Kwame Brown. It was crazy. I thought DeAndre Ayton was a little bit better than that. He is basura.
Yeah, 10 points, 6 rebounds.
It was bad. It was bad last night.
4 turnovers.
And it was worse than that. The stat line don't even tell the whole story. It was ugly. He looked like he can't catch, like he got 2 left hands. It was disgusting watching him in a Lakers uniform last night. He better get it together.
You all drop down in the comments and you let us know who you felt like were the winners and the losers of opening night of NBA. We got to hear your thoughts on the Rockets versus OKC, and then that really late matchup between Golden State and the Los Angeles Lakers. We want to hear from you. Drop down below.
For sure. And make sure y'all tap into our newsletter. Link is in bio, keeping y'all abreast of all things going on in the world of sports. More NBA basketball. We bike, baby.